Elisabeth, thank you so much for joining us in the in our my little mini studio today. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you about future mindset and social innovation. But first, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do and what you're focused on?
Yeah. Thanks, Rachel, for having me. It's a real pleasure. So a little bit about me. So I'm a coach, who has been a business leader before, and my whole intention is to help people to grow, to actually make the business grow, and doing that by having a higher purpose. So that's more or less what I'm doing every day in all kind of different ways. So as a coach, as a consultant, as an innovation agent, whatever you need there. So I'm a generalist, and I love that. And this is what gives me a lot of pleasure. And so talking to you today is amazing. And the topic we will tap into is pretty new, and not so new, because future mindset, I think, has always been out there. It's a new terminology for something that we know,
Mhm.
but we seem to have forgotten about it.
Tell us a little bit about what the future mindset really is and how you maybe came across the concept
Yeah.
yourself.
So I
Yeah.
think I would like to start and go back, because there is a quote of William James, and he was a neuroscientist in the 18th century. And I will read it because I think it's amazing. The greatest revolution of our generation, so we're talking about the 18th century, is the discovery that human beings, by changing their inner attitudes of their minds, can change the outer aspects of their lives.
Mm.
And I think this is still so true.
Yeah.
And future mindset was something that I was coming along when I was looking into research and looking into uncertainty, and what that means for us, and what kind of stage of mind helps us to cope with
Mm.
it. And there was a very big study done from a US studio in 2021, and they actually called it the first time there is a future minded leader. And when I tapped into it, I found this is perfect, because this is a lot what I'm already working with, and it's confirming with scientific data what I have intentionally worked with. So it's great to have that as a proof point now. And out of that study, I've looked deeper on what does it mean, you know. And it's interesting, because we all, as human beings, when we look from a scientific perspective, we have the innate ability to look into the future.
Mm.
But what happens in crisis is that we tend to forget that. We are not doing that anymore. We're stuck in the here and now. We're thinking about the next day. What that takes also away from us is the joy, because there is like no forward looking, there is no light at the end of the tunnel. So there is nothing that really also gives us hope. And that's the interesting thing, because in future mindset, to keep it very simple, we are looking into we are prospecting futures, all kind of different scenarios of what might happen. But we clearly prospect that on an outcome that we want to have. So we design the outcome first, and then we say, these are the different futures that we have. Based on that, we can then go into planning. And that's one of the most important things that we normally not do. We don't plan different prospect futures
Mm-hmm.
for one outcome. And looking into that, we need to look into what is a worst case scenario that might find there, and that I want to tap into to understand it. By doing all of that exercise and reflecting then on what I've found as prospect futures, and talk to other people about it. That's the important piece as well. I need to have exchange. I need to look into feedback from others, so that I can see, okay, is that something that they also share? Is there a perspective that I have not tapped into? Is there something I should know? Reflect again, and then define it. And then I'll go with it. And I will be much better prepared, because I've looked into 5, 6 different scenarios
Mm-hmm.
for one outcome that I want to
Mm-hmm.
achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever will change, whatever will happen, I will be much more better set up to cope with it.
So it's almost it's the difference between foresight and forecasting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That foresight is that exploration of what are the different scenarios that could really be taking place. And
exactly.
then understanding how to move within those uncertain times, within those uncertain conditions. I think that's really fascinating. And
Yeah.
tell me your the link then between what you see as the direct link between this future mindset and social innovation.
In social innovation, we even have a lot more that might happen as a future shock,
Mm-hmm.
because there is even more resilience we need in social innovation. Might it be territorial, might it be political, might it be very personal. But the thing is, social innovation and what we want to provide with it is welfare for other people. That's to
Mm-hmm.
keep it very simple, or for institutions or organizations.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, to achieve that in an uncertain context, we need to be even more, predictable in our foresight. We need to be even more looking into what are potential roadblocks that are ahead of us. What are worst case scenarios that we might not be able to overcome with the means that we currently have? So we might need completely new partners to bring into a context of social innovation we haven't even thought about.
Right.
And that's for me the aspect where it really comes together. And when we think about social innovation, and that's at least my point of view, whatever we do as innovators needs to have a social aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I think whoever is not doing it today shouldn't call himself an innovator. I'm very drastic on this, because we all need to create a better, brighter future. And if we are not tapping into that, and if we are not starting to change it now, a lot of things will collate. And we will even wake up in a scenario that we don't want to wake up. I think it's critical that we are clear of what is it bringing as a welfare to everybody working on a big innovation, next to what is the shareholder value that we gain out of it.
Yeah.
So this is why, for me, social innovation, it has a much broader context as it had, because it's tapping into all the fields of where we are innovating today.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a question anymore.
And it goes back to that triple bottom line that we always think about, right? Which is profit, people, planet.
Exactly. Because social innovation doesn't mean that we cannot make profit.
Yes.
It would be wrong, you know. Whatever in business is done should provide profit, but for the right context, and
Yeah.
with the right purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that's